Hello children. So this week is Reformation week. So we're going to be making our artwork according to that. So what I did today is I created our own parchment, which used to look just like this, but then I made it look into this. And we wrote the 5 solas on there, and if you've been listening to Miss Yolanda, you will know what these solas are. So we have sola gratia, sola fide, sola Christus, sola Deo gloria, and sola scriptura, which means sola in grace alone, in faith alone, in Christ alone, in the glory of God alone, and in scripture alone. And what I did is I wanted to make it kind of reminiscent of the time that Martin Luther came from, and what they used to do is they used to write on parchment, which was like a rougher paper, and it was more this color, and they used to create illuminated calligraphy, so illuminated letters, and to make it really pop and make the page look really pretty, and they used to do little designs around the edges and stuff like that, and they used gold to what's that called? To illuminate it and to just encircle it and outline it, that's the word, and to outline the letters. So what you're going to need today to be able to do this art project is you're going to need a paintbrush, you're going to need your rope, you're going to need the piece of paper I gave you, a pencil, a black pen. Hopefully you can find one that's more like this, so it's more inky instead of just a ballpoint. Those are the best kinds, but if it's just a regular black pen, that's fine. And the gold paint that I gave you. And also, you're going to need some really dark black coffee, or some really dark black tea will work as well, but coffee is probably the best. So let's get started. What you're going to do is you're going to take your white paper and you're going to rip the edges off. I'm trying to go as fast as I can because I have to get this video done pretty quickly. But you're going to rip the edges off. Just like this. That's a little bit too thick. Try not to make them this thick. See, this is no good. What you want to do is you want to make them really thin like this. You want to make just a small amount of edges. This is too thin. What you want, like about that big, okay? So try not to rip it too much. Well then, once you got it ripped, you're going to take it and you're going to scrunch it in your hand. And then you're going to peel it apart and you're going to see, are there enough scrunches and creases? Nope, a little bit more. You're going to scrunch it a little bit more. Okay, now once you got it good and creased enough, you're going to take it, you're going to flatten it out. Then you're going to take your already made coffee and you're just going to plop her in there in a bowl. You want your coffee in a bowl, not one with holes. This was just all that I could find at the moment. And you're going to take your page and you're going to turn it over like this and make sure that the coffee is gone all over the page so that it all looks nice and brown and neat. And then once you've gotten that done, what you do is you just shake it off a little bit and you put it in a warm, bright place where the sun is, preferably, because that makes it dry faster to dry, and you set it down there in front of the sun. And that'll take around 15 to 20 to 30 minutes. So just pause that video until it's all dried, and then once it's dry, come back here and we'll finish the art project together. All right, I already had mine pre-made for just such an occasion, so I don't need to wait 20 to 30 minutes. I already have mine right there. So what you're going to do, the first thing is you're going to take your ruler. I think I said that they needed a ruler, right? Well, you need a ruler. And you're going to create a little box right here. And you want the box not to be super close to the edge because we're going to create these little thingies around these little designs. So you want it a little further away from the edge. And in centimeters, which is the cm part of the ruler, it's going to be 4.5 for the bottom and the top. So we're going to do 4.5 centimeters right there. And then it's going to be 6 centimeters 6 centimeters for the sides. So we're going to do 6 centimeters right there. Boom, boom. And try to get it as straight as possible, just like that. Like that. There you go. Now we have our box. I'm going to just take down the edges, and we have enough room around the edges to create our little designs. So now what we're going to do is we're going to make a big S right in the middle of the box. Just like that, a big S. Try to make it as nice as you can. Then what we're going to do to make it look like this is we're going to start outlining around that big S in the box. So I'm going to make a really long point like this. And then I'm going to go like this, you can see, and kind of make a flower design. Make another point at the top, and then go along with the S. And then I make the line, and I make it go along with the S. Then what I'm going to do at the bottom is I'm going to create a line around it to make it thicker, like that, and go like this. And then I'm going to deviate from the path. I'm going to make a thick tummy for the S. And I'm going to create a little prong right here. That means just a little point. I'm going to create a little point right here. Just like so. And then I'm going to go back into the one line, right? Then I'm going to go like this, like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing that I did here over here. So I'm going to make a long point right over the top. I'm going to go like this, like that. I'm going to stray away from the path. I'm going to make a little point at the same place where that is. So a little point, right? I'm going to keep going, and then I'm going to come around, not around there, but around here. I'm going to come back into the S that we made originally. So like that, right? And then I'm going to take this, I'm going to go down, and I'm going to create a little flower thing, a little point like that. I'm going to create another little point like that. And then I'm going to go right back into the S we made. So once we got that done, what you're going to do is you're going to take your eraser and you're going to erase the line of the S that was inside. And you can fix up anything that doesn't look quite right, like that didn't look nice to me, I didn't like that. So I'm going to fix that up. I'm going to erase the line right here that was made from the other S, the skinny S. Like that. I'm going to erase the line that I made to link up the 2 points. And just, go through, and if anything doesn't look nice to you, make sure you go and fix it and try to make it look as nice as possible. Okay, there we have our S right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little diamond right at the tip, where we see our tip right there for that flower. I'm going to create a little diamond, and I'm going to create a little triangle right underneath the diamond. And then I'm going to do the same thing right here. I'm going to create a little diamond and a little triangle. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this long slash in the S. So I'm going to take this, go like that, kind of follow the curvature, and then follow it again, right up back to the S. I don't like that, it doesn't look even. Just like that. Okay, once you do that, you're good. Now for the edges, I'm going to take this, I'm going to create a kind of a fleur-de-lis type of flower. So I do that, I make a little curve like that, and then I'm going to make a teardrop like this, like this. See, like this, well, not like that. But I'm going to make a teardrop there, and then I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to make a little flower thing like that. And then I'm going to make a line, connect it to the bottom, so that there's a line right here, so we can paint that in gold for later. And I'm going to make another fleur-de-lis flower. So like this, just like that, and connect it. And then I'm going to go here, make another line, and make another fleur-de-lis flower. That one's not good, but you get what I'm saying. So once you do that to all the corners. So you go up, you connect it so that you make a little box line. And then that's good. That's good enough right there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go and we're gonna actually write down our solas. And what I want you to do, also once we write down our solas and everything, you're going to take your Sharpie and I want you to outline everything, just like this. Everything that we've drawn in pencil, I want you to outline it. Make sure you do in ink so that it really stands out. So, as you can see, I'm outlining the S right here. And make sure you outline these little decorations we've done inside the S. All right, guys? So outline like that. There we go. And make sure you outline this outside part, stuff like that. Okay, now let's actually write the solas. I'm gonna put it right here. And you guys are going to pause. I'll write the first sola out with you, but you guys are going to pause, and I want you to write in your best handwriting. I want it to look very nice. I want you to write all of it out and then go over it in ink. So let's write the first sola together. So sola gratia. There, that's our first sola. And then we're going to continue. You're going to put all the rest of your S's right here, all here, and make sure you capitalize every first letter. So once we got that done, if you have room at the bottom, what you're going to do is you're going to take your pencil and you're going to create a swoosh like that, just like that. And then what you're going to do is you're going to create a line here. You're going to do a triangle right here. Look how we're using these shapes that we learned in the first couple of weeks. You're going to take another line right here and you're going to create a dewdrop like that, like a teardrop. You're going to do the same thing, create a triangle right here and a little curvy doodad right there, and then do a dewdrop as here as well. And then you're going to create little buttons or little dots here. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then you're going to go over all of that in ink. So once you have gotten all of that done and you've gone over everything, it's the last finishing touches. And you take your paintbrush and you take your paint. What you're going to do with the paint that you have in the bag, just cut the tip of the bag off and you squirt it onto a plate or something. Ask your mommy to squirt it onto a plate or something. Don't try to open the bag and like dip your paintbrush all willy-nilly crazy in the bag. Do not do that. Cut the tip of the bag off and squeeze the paint onto a plate. Then what you're going to do is you take your paintbrush, and if your paintbrush is a little thicker, that's okay. Make sure you have a good amount of paint on it and just kind of roll it down like this to create a point with your paintbrush. So you're going to take your paint, once you have a good amount, you're going to take it and you're going to paint in the S. You're going to paint it really nicely, and don't go over the little designs that we made, because those you're going to color with your black pen and you're going to make them into black. So you're going to go over your entire S, make it look really nice, just like that. So I'm not going to do the whole S because I think you know how to do it, and also you can see right here how I did that with the S. So you do that, make it look really nice. So once you've gotten your whole S done, and stay in the lines, don't go out of the lines. You want it to look really nice. You don't want it to look sloppy. You're going to take your Sharpie or your pen and you're going to color in this middle part right here, just like that. And color it in really nicely. So it's all black like that, and then you're going to take your Sharpie and you're going to color these little things in as well, the little triangle and the little diamond. All right, so once you got that done, what you're gonna do is you're gonna take your paintbrush and your paint again, and you're going to go and outline the edge over here. And you're gonna outline just like I did right here. You're gonna outline the edge. You're gonna outline the edge. Okay, thank you, Miss Yolani. Yeah, the phone's about to die, so I have to go pretty fast. So you're gonna outline the edge just like that, and you're gonna stay in the lines much better than I did. Just like that. So then you're gonna put it aside. Oh, also, I'm sorry. You're going to take your gold and you're going to paint in these little things right here. So the little doodads right here, paint them in just like that. Okay. Now, once you've gotten all of that done, it should look something like this. What you're going to do is you're going to take it and you're going to roll it up just like they used to back then. They used to roll it up like a little scroll. So you roll it up and you have your 5 solas with you. I'm going to take and then you just tie it and you're done. That's all that you have to do, and you got your 5 solas. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this project. Bye.